Hello, my name is Aiden Saroka, and today I'm joined by two members of our talent acquisition and recruiting team. We have Miss Megan Kaluzny and Isabella Gonzalez. How are y'all doing today?
Doing good. Thanks, Aiden.
Doing good.
So my first question is, how can you make sure your resume is going to stand out?
In order to make your resume stand out, I think that there's a few different things that I would touch on. One is getting rid of any fluff. So what is the very most important thing that a recruiter needs to know about you? Is it your degree? Maybe it's a really technical degree that you have. Is it the internships that you've done most recently and the experience you've gained from those? Ultimately, just removing anything that's not necessary and fitting it into a one-pager would be my best advice.
Yeah, for me personally, I would use a clean, professional, and straightforward layout. It's important to highlight your top achievements and just tailor it to the job that you're applying for. You can always think of it as your personal billboard, but of course, making it a lot more relevant.
So in all the job preparation classes we might take in college, every professor has a different set of rules for when it comes to things like cover letters and attaching it with resumes. Do we really need to include one nowadays? And if so, what should we put in there to really make it stand out?
That's a great question, Aiden. I've been a recruiter for about 3.5 years now, and I'll be really honest with you. Cover letters are not the most important thing. I would really focus more of your time on your resume. However, if you want to add a cover letter, there's a few things that I think that you should be sure to check out. One, make sure that you put the right job and the right contact information in your cover letter. You would not believe how many cover letters I've seen that were for other companies being sent to me at TechnologyAdvice, which is just wild. I think that if you're specifically looking for a role that's maybe more writing-based, editorial, something in that realm, adding a cover letter can be a nice touch. It does show off your editing or your writing skills. But just be sure to make sure you edit it and maybe have a peer edit it as well, just to ensure things like grammar, the job that you're applying to, things like that don't get missed along the way.
Yeah, well, while it's not always required, some roles actually require it. So I think it could also be your secret weapon in a way. So it's important that you make it as engaging as possible. Share why you're excited about the role, highlight again key experiences, and just show a bit of your personality. At the same time, making sure it's concise and fairly accurate to the role you're applying for. Like what Megan said, I also had a lot of experiences wherein candidates would put in blank templates. So it's important that you're really accurate in terms of what you're also submitting.
Well, now, do you need to adjust your resume for different types of jobs? I know that sounds like a broad question, but
I would say for the most part, if you're really excited about a job, I would encourage you to look at the job description and have your resume and compare and see where maybe there's a difference or a gap. Using similar wording even can indirectly put a highlight in a recruiter's brain of oh, they said they have excellent communication skills. And we need excellent communication skills. I know that's kind of a bad example, but there are some larger conglomerate companies that also use AI that will specifically be looking for keywords on your resume. And so it is important to be mindful of that, to double check that your resume is at least in alignment with some of those key skills. Especially if you're transferring from, a different industry, highlighting those transferable skills that will indirectly help in this role would be very important.
Yeah, well, I think it's also just about thinking that you're customizing your pitch in a sense that you're highlighting the relevant skills and experience that you have that are also most relevant to the job. So I'd say, even though it's also not a requirement, agreeing to what Megan said, if you're excited about an opportunity, it's really best for you to tailor fit everything that you've had, qualifications, skills, expertise, and match that to the role that you're applying for.
Isabel, say, I'm asked, what is this 1.5 year gap on my resume? Or what happened with your last job? Why are you coming here? What should I do in that type of scenario?
Yeah, you can just basically be honest and positive. You can explain what you did during that gap, whether it was for further education or personal growth. And basically, from there, you can also show us how that even made you better.